on Monday the 9th, it is Sri Yukteswar's Mahasamadhi, and we'll have a meditation that Peter and Gayatri will lead. But I thought to talk, since their Mahasamadhis are so close, I thought to share a little bit more about Sri Yukteswar, because this lineage that we've got, that has been given to us, that we've had the good karma to be drawn to, they're not separate, they're not distinct, but it's a flow of consciousness. And Sri Yukteswar's role, it's an interesting role. Sometimes when Master called him a Jnana avatar, an incarnation of divine wisdom. And sometimes it's a little bit hard to relate to him because he seems remote and aloof. And indeed he was, though. He was that. In former incarnations, Ananda wrote a wonderful book about Lanfranc, Bishop Lanfranc, who was around at the time of William the Conqueror, when Master was William. And Bishop Lanfranc was one of the great lights that held Christianity together in a very turbulent age. He trained all the monks throughout Europe. They would come to his monastery. And then he and Master had a very deep alliance, William and Lanfranc. And together they founded many monasteries and would often share and talk about how do we keep Christianity vibrant at this time. And then in this lifetime, the current lifetime, I should say, as we know, Master found Sri Yukteswar, but many years before that, Sri Yukteswar was paving the way at the Kumbh Mela that he went to, where he met Babaji. Babaji said, I want you to write a book comparing the Bible and Gita, which was, of course, central to Master's mission. And he said, in the future, I will send you a disciple to train to share these teachings in the West. And so Sri Yukteswar is very much a part of Master's mission, and he was very strict and disciplinary with Master, but he was training him to come to the West, where he would not be received, where he would be kind of ridiculed, all the things that happened to him. But he knew he needed to be tough inside, and so he trained him like that. But in the wonderful chapter in Autobiography of a Yogi, The Resurrection of Sri Yukteswar, when he appears in 1936, after his passing, he appeared to Master, as he was about to leave to return to America. And Sri Yukteswar said, I'm sorry I had to be so strict with you, but in our next life, we won't need to do that. And then Sri Yukteswar went on to explain that where he resides now is in a very subtle astral plane, Hiranyaloka, called an illumined astral plane, where souls who have already finished off most of their astral karma just have a little bit of karma, astral karma, not to mention physical karma, to work out. God has asked him to reside on that plane and to help those souls make that final transition to the causal plane of soul freedom. But so sometimes we can think, well, Sri Yukteswar's in the causal plane and he's inaccessible. But, I was thinking back about my own life and Sri Yukteswar's influence in it. And after, many of you know, in 1975, there was a big forest fire and all the homes were destroyed. And Jyotish and I, we had a small child at the time, we were living in this very funky old trailer that somehow had survived the fire, and it didn't have much heat, and it was cold, and it was not ideal by any means. But at that time, the temple up at the meditation retreat, when the fire came, we didn't know if it would be preserved or not. So we had all these beautiful original paintings done by an artist who lived at Ananda at the time. He's left many years ago. But there was one, a life-size, bigger than life-size portrait of Sri Yukteswar. It was a triangular painting, and he was sitting in lotus picture. And so all the paintings were gathered in a truck as a part of a exit to preserve them from the fire. And then what do we do with all these paintings? So they were just putting them, letting people keep them in their house. And so somehow someone delivered to our little trailer this magnificent portrait of painting of Sri Yukteswar. And I didn't think about it at the time. And it was in our one little room, was a meditation room, and it was just there. And every day there would be Sri Yukteswar looking like, get your trip together, girl, But in retrospect, I realized that impersonal power was very present. And then when some years later we had the opportunity to go to India with Swamiji, there were just a small group, Jyotish and me and Shivani and Arjuna from Assisi and Swamiji, and we went to Puri, where Sri Yukteswar's body is in his Mahasamadhi Mandir, and we meditated there with Swami. Swami was in good health in those days and quite mobile. And so we have a photo of Swami meditating there. We all meditated. It was very hot. Swami was just dripping with sweat, and his orange robes were wet with perspiration. But we sat there meditating, and then we asked Swami to bless our discipleship there. And again, it was very powerful. And so I share these stories just to remind you, yes, Master, yes, he's our guru. He's the one that's within us, that has called us. But Sri Yukteswar is a part of that. And particularly now, perhaps, when maybe the world will be tested, we need that jnana avatar, for that impersonal strength. And it's not cold. Someone said, Swami retold the story, a disciple said to Master, "Oh, when I look at Sri Yukteswar, I see such love in his eyes." And Master said, "There was no love in those eyes." But there was a different kind of a love that empowers you to be your highest and your best. And so I thought it was important this evening for us to hold both of them and to try to tune into Sri Yukteswar, particularly if you're going through a difficult time. Master is like the mother, all forgiving, all embracing. Sri Yukteswar is more like the father, a little bit remote and removed, but always concerned about our welfare, always drawing us home. And I thought I would conclude by reading the Master's beautiful poem from Whispers from Eternity. It's simply called My Guru. Thou light of my life, thou camest to spread wisdom's glow over the path of my soul. Centuries of darkness dissolved before the shafts of thy luminous help. As a naughty baby, I cried for my divine mother, and she came to me as my guru, Swami Sri Yukteswar. At that meeting, O my guru, a spark flew from thee, and the faggots of my God-craving gathered through incarnations, smoldered and blazed into bliss. All my questions have been answered with thy flaming golden touch. Eternal, ever-present satisfaction has come to me through thy glory. Our souls met after years of waiting. They trembled with an omnipresent thrill. We met here because we had met before, and that's true for all of us. Together, we will fly to his shores, where we will smash our planes of finitude forever and vanish into infinite life. I bow to thee as the spoken voice of silent God. I bow to thee as the divine door which leads to the temple of salvation. I bow to thee, to thy master, Lahiri Mahashaya, harbinger of yoga in Benares, and I lay the flowers of my devotion at the feet of Babaji, our Supreme Master.